Hi, Brian Milnes here, talking to you from my home office in Mill Lane here in Sawston. As hopefully you're aware, there's an election coming up on May the 5th for a seat onto the South Cambs District Council. There's also a police commissioner vote on that day. So I wanted to say a few words about why I'm standing, why I hope you'll go to vote, and even better, why you might vote for me. So we currently have 3 seats on the Sawston ward, all occupied by Conservatives, which I think is a little bit excessive, and so I'm standing for the Liberal Democrats to offer an alternative and moderate voice on the council. Because, as I see it, it's a little bit like this. The local Conservatives are rather obliged to toe their party line. So if central government, David Cameron, George Osborne and their pals, decide, say, to cut our council's budget or withdraw their funding altogether, both of which they're doing, or, say, impose a daft devolution deal, our Sawston councillors rather have to do their master's bidding. So, when you see the potholes in our streets, or you see that our street lighting is being sold off to a commercial company, who incidentally are clearly struggling to deal with them in a timely way, and when you see shrinking numbers of available social housing, bear in mind that the Conservatives are responsible, and an alternative might be just a really good idea. And when they say we're all in it together, what does that mean to you? Even here in Sawston we have an offshore Virgin Islands company who own the former Barclays Bank site in the High Street. Meanwhile, we're left waiting for Sainsbury's to make up their mind whether to develop and occupy the site, leaving us to wonder how long we'll have to put up with the eyesore of a fenced-off area in the High Street. And having a thriving High Street is important. The arrival of Domino's Pizza might not have been a popular decision, but a national brand has given our High Street a vote of confidence. And that in turn may make the letting of the Woodhead Publishing former co-op site next door a more attractive proposition. Because our retail premises need to be occupied and successful, especially as our village grows. And grow it will. The council's local plan has 540 new houses either side of the Babraham Road, and despite the delay caused by the plan being rejected by the planning inspectorate, those houses will eventually get built. In the meantime, we're seeing the smaller opportunistic developers looking for planning approval. So like the contentious 48 house development behind the fire station, which is now approved, and which will commence after what the developer described to me as a due diligence process. And one local resident described as an impasse over who was going to develop the access road. The other proposed development off Mill Lane has been rejected on several grounds, including a flood risk, which isn't surprising when local neighbours tell me that that's the lowest part of Mill Lane. Further afield, across the level crossing, the entire former Spices site has been bought by Araka's Capital, and the development there is likely to increase pressure on our housing shortage problem immensely. And that's just taking the cognate bioscience development of the former Vision Centre into account. Development of the rest of the site is going to just amplify that problem. And how do our Conservative councils plan to handle this extra development? Well, there are currently no plans to, for example, alleviate the pinch point between the M11 and the McDonald's roundabout on the 505, where this daily rush hour is increasingly a daily gridlock. So if both the extension at the Genome campus and the proposed Smithson Hill development on the former Hamley Grange site go ahead, on top of the already announced developments of Grant Park, these traffic problems in the area are just going to get a whole lot worse. So, great for our economy that the bioscience cluster is growing and that Sawston can be part of it, but a big pressure on the infrastructure and resources required to support it. So we need great advocacy, for example with the city deal, where we need to get our unfair share of the first tranche of 37 million out of the total 100 million going to be available. It's not just about the A1307 corridor, which is where the focus of the current city deal in this area is. It's about the whole road and transport network around Sawston, the Granta Park and the Genome campus. So Sawston needs the best possible, the strongest advocate with a vision of how to create viable solutions to these difficult problems, to argue the case for more funding for our area. So please turn out on Thursday the 5th of May. Better still, please turn out and vote for me, Brian Milnes, Liberal Democrat. Thank you.